The Season 3 episodes for Freelance Creative Exchange are recorded on Audio-Technica microphones.
Click on the show notes below to find out more.
Hi, I'm Fanny. This is the Freelance Creative Exchange, a podcast about freelancing and the gig economy. So today we want to talk about freelancing from an actor's perspective, from attending auditions and finding gigs to getting paid and building a sustainable career. So as content creators ourselves, we work with many actors in our projects. So we have a strong appreciation for them and what they bring to our screens. Without actors, there won't be any movies or television or corporate videos as such. So despite their importance in the ecosystem, many actors find it very challenging to be recognized and rewarded for their work. So today we are talking to Kris, Mavericko and Renita Kapoor, who has acted as mother and son in Afterlife, which will be showing on STOREYS. So for those of you who don't know, STOREYS is actually a project under Creatives at Work, and it's a ground initiative where we seek to tell stories that can drive a positive change in Singapore. So before we start the entire conversation about freelancing, can you first share with me about your roles in Afterlife?
So I'm his mom in Afterlife. And so I don't want to leak out the plot. It's just the two of us in our family, and so our life revolves around just each other.
How do you find your role?
I mean, honestly, it was a lot more emotionally exhausting than I imagined it to be, and I was hoping for it to be. I mean, if I were to describe my role, it started off very organically, just between Perry and me. And he wrote a story having me in mind, and that's how it all began. So when I looked at the script, I looked at it like this guy is broken on a big level. You know, he's a lot more messed up than he would like to show and he would like to believe. If I say any more, it's quite dangerous. But I don't even know whether to say if he's constantly bordering on the line between sanity and insanity in when it comes to dealing with his mom and his acceptance of reality, right? And this also points to the cleverness of Perry's writing, because we did a lot of talking before we went into the film. I wanted to say that the people that we worked with in the film, you know, it would be a crime for me to leave without saying how immensely valuable they've been.
Yes.
Because like I was saying, acting is a very group thing. We all do this together. And if you think, if anybody thinks that one or both of us turned in good performances, it's everything to do with the crew.
Yeah.
And obviously I got to emphasize about Perry. The one thing that he did say to me, which till now I don't think anyone has said, and which will mean a lot to me for a long time to come, is that before we began this film, he said, if I cannot do this with you, I'm not doing it.
Wow.
I'm not doing it. And people have no idea how empowering that can be for an actor or anyone who is in a working relationship with anyone. So we have a particular loyalty that we share with one another, Perry and I. Did I miss anyone?
No.
Oh, obviously. Yeah, oh man, it wasn't a trick question. Yeah, Renita is extremely intuitive and very sensitive. So when she goes in the moment, she's 100% present in that moment. So when you're performing with her, you feel a particular vibration that lends itself so organically to the scene. And when you see that she's relaxed and calm, it can also make you feel relaxed and calm, and you know that you're working with a professional, right? And so it's a lot of give and take. That's why a lot of actors, they always like to work with actors. Good actors like to work with good actors because it pushes both of their performances further up. So I got the sense with Renita, with Christopher, with Michael and Agnes, and just want to thank all these people for being tremendous. Absolutely tremendous.
So Perry is the filmmaker that is behind the story Afterlife, and Afterlife will be coming to you on storeys.video, both the website and Facebook page. So now back to your freelancing career. So how do you get into freelancing as an actor?
You go first.
Oh, how did I get into freelancing? Okay, when I was in poly, right, I was doing biomedical electronics engineering, right? But then my first ever conscious performance in front of a crowd was when I was in secondary school. So at that time, I recognized that there was something beyond and outside academics that was probably in my destiny, right? And I recognized that at a pretty young age. It's just that the societal and social and school pressure was so overwhelming and extremely domineering that I think I myself wasn't willing to admit that this was my path. So there was an extremely long period of denying myself of my true north, and instead going for what everyone else says is the safest route, because I don't have an example to follow. So that was way back in so when I was in poly was when I truly recognized that acting was a passion. So I'm talking about like 2005 2006 kind of time. So when I finally became a freelancer, it was like late 2015. So you see, there was a decade there, right? And so this was a painful decade because I had to put through that time of waiting. I had to be patient. So when I finally got in, I didn't really look at myself as a freelance actor. I just told myself that, okay, this journey has brought me here, right? And I'm just going to keep walking this path with as much strength as I can. And hopefully I'll have the mileage to walk as far as I can. I think it was just a combination of life factors and alignment of certain situations that just brought me here, because I had constantly been thinking about it for more than a decade before I finally got here. Yeah, and working as well. Yeah, working towards getting here. I didn't just keep thinking and then I got here. Right?
Yeah, it just happened on its own. Honestly, like I've been acting since I was 4 years old, on stage as an actor, singer, and dancer.
Child prodigy.
And then throughout my school, college, like till the time I got married, and after that, then responsibilities came in, kids. So I put everything on the side. And literally like around 18 years of break from acting. And in 2015, I did a show here. I got through a theatre production. And that's how I came back. And after that, I think because that's what I always wanted to do, be an actor. So that's my soul, my heart. And so I just 2015 I got the courage. Like my kids were big enough to be able to take care, like at a certain level. So they also understood that yes, this is what I love doing, and they would let me be, like otherwise they're so demanding most of the time. So I just started going out for auditions. Yes, it was not easy. The first role that I got in a commercial was a Singtel ad, and I was in one of the extras behind somewhere. and when I did that, I mean, I really feel proud because you have to go through those steps. So that's how the freelancers, I think, you need to just grow like that. And it just started on its own, and one after the other. I think once you get into this field, and if you're good for the screen or for the stage, then people do look out for you. I mean, and then one after the other, it just started happening. So yeah.
Okay, so what is it freelancing like as an actor in Singapore? What are some of the challenges you meet? Because our ecosystem for actors is not as robust and solid.
Yeah.
Have you met with any obstacles?
I have. I think it's because of my language, because I don't know Tamil, I don't know Malay, and I don't know Chinese. So I really want to learn. I'm working towards it, and that's one biggest challenge that I face. But till now, I've got a lot of English roles and Hindi speaking roles as well, and Punjabi. That's one of the languages fair amount of people speak here. So, but I even did a Tamil role. So that's one challenge that I felt I faced. But as a freelancer, the biggest challenge is to keep looking out for work. Like you really have to be on the lookout on different casting groups or production houses. Keep looking out for work. Keep auditioning. So it's not that easy. Yeah, that's what I feel the biggest challenge.
I think the biggest obstacle for me was being able to accept the fact that I'm not gonna always be getting the kind of roles that I came in wanting to do. That is, it was an entire paradigm shift, because in your mind you have this fantasy of what kind of actor you are and who you want to be, and you see all your heroes and your idols and all these people from whom you've gathered all these different things, and you want to emulate and bring in your own individualistic style, and you got all these things going on in your brain for a decade, and then when you finally get an actual paid job, you gotta be, like she said, in the background somewhere, right? And then at first they put me at the frame of a door, right? And then I was so enthusiastic that even though it was a non-speaking role with minimal screen time, I ended up overshadowing the lead. So they pushed me back a couple of meters for the next take, and the next take they pushed me back a little bit more, all the way till, like, so imagine this is the depth of the room where we're shooting this commercial. I don't want to say which commercial, but they pushed me back all the way till the end. So in the final, all you see is just some guy in the real background, and I wasn't even able to make out if that was really me. You see, so the biggest obstacle was to accept that you got to go through from really the rock bottom.
Yeah.
And there is no telling how long you're going to stay there. It's all a question of faith, and how badly you want it, and how much resolve and that mental reserve you have inside of you to tell yourself that your time will come, right? To have that faith and that fortitude to keep fighting. So the biggest obstacle was acceptance, and then also figuring out that speaking roles can be an illusion, because there's really not as many speaking roles being offered to people like me as what people may think. Just because you can talk well, just because you can memorize scripts, just because you can deliver well, does not mean that you're going to get a lot of speaking roles. And I think we can be honest here. Race does play a strong factor, but I'm happy to see that in 2020 and 2019 there was a lot more inclusivity and diversity of casting, which I personally observed, I may be wrong, than I witnessed in 2015 and 2016. 2015, 2016, 2017 was a really tough time, because most of the roles that I did were all background extras. And most of those stuff I didn't even want to promote about it. I didn't want to talk about it. And then you go for all these long hours of filming, and then people tell you, also, when can I see you, where can I see you, and what was your line, and when they finally look at that thing, the final cut, you're nowhere to be seen. So it makes you look like a liar, because you've been working all day, but you have nothing to show for it, whether it's bank balance or a reputation or a visibility on screen. So it was difficult, because it continuously questioned my purpose, my sense of existence within this acting realm. I didn't know how relevant I was. And one part of you feels like you're desperate to get all this recognition and everything. But the more desperate you are, the more you push opportunities away, because you emanate that kind of energy, you see. So there's a lot of inner work to be done, to maintain that level of consciousness and tranquility, to still function as an actor who can be trusted. So there's a lot of other qualities that also have to come with the talent. Reliability, accountability, punctuality, and all these ETs.
So Renita, you mentioned that you find casting jobs on Facebook groups.
Yes.
And are there any other platforms that you guys use to find job opportunities?
For Singapore, that's the way that I have found, and there are some WhatsApp groups as well where we keep getting updates. And Kris, and also I've seen you get referred by your co-actors, or Kris referred me for this role. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
No, because see, I did receive that casting call, and at the same time I messaged him that I've received, and he's like, I have recommended your name for this role. So yeah, and I really appreciate Kris for that, because not many actors do that. They are insecure. even though whether you're a male or a female, like I have seen insecurities between male and female actors. So they don't like sharing opportunities with each other because they feel, what if she or he does better than me? And it's human nature. But I have always appreciated Kris for this. Like, he goes out all the way, sharing with people what's there. I mean, if you deserve it, you will get it. Yeah. You have to go for it, do the audition, and if you're good enough, you'll be done.
And now I want to add something to the point that she just said about the sharing spirit. I want to tell people that acting is a communal thing. It's a group thing. You give and you share and then you receive. It's giving and receiving. This is not a competition, guys.
Yeah.
This is not a sport. I don't know. Okay, this may have something to do with the Singaporean mindset as well, because we are one of the ultra competitive nations in the world, and I'm not saying that's wrong. That is the very quality that has gotten us to where we are now. I mean, being a small kampong, and look at where we are now. We are one of the enviable, admirable cities of the world. That, you know, countries a lot bigger than us have not achieved what we have achieved. So all that is owing to the competitive spirit, the drive, and the relentlessness of generations past. But when it comes to the arts, we got to adopt a different mindset. Facebook groups is the dominant place, is like the major place where most actors get their casting. Most of the small time actors like us get our opportunities from. But outside of that, there's also the WhatsApp groups. And these WhatsApp groups, it's not something like you just tell people to add you in. It's something like you stick around for a while, and some people, they see that sincerity in you, so they add you into these groups, right? Because they see that, okay, this person is someone who wants to do things. I think we can work together in the future, so they add you here. So that's the second way. The third way is, of course, from referrals. Referrals, as in somebody may have like, let's say, considered person A for the role, and that person may not have been able to make it, and then they recommended you, so it comes through friends. That's the third way. The fourth way is directly from companies, production related people, and of course filmmakers like Perry and so on. So the fourth one is the most, I would say, that's where serendipity is. That's what serendipity is all about. If you've been sincere in applying for casting calls in the first few methods, the fourth one is kind of gonna automatically find you.
True.
Because you are putting out that intent into the universe, right? You want to do this, you want to do that. So sometimes what you reap can come from a very different place from where you have sown it.
Yeah, that's true.
We just do the sowing where we can see.
Yes.
But we are not going to expect that the results that we get are coming from the same place that is immediately in front of us.
Yeah, that's
very
true. Yeah.
So that's my humble experience.
So, what tips do you have for acing a casting call?
I mean, audition.
An audition, a casting call, yeah.
Okay.
It can be
Yeah.
from the point where you sent out email, to the point where you actually step inside, to have an audition. Are there any tips for young freelancers?
There are a few tips, and I think they are basically like more of ethics as an actor that we must follow, because we don't know, but everybody notices those small gestures, like reaching, like it's my thumb rule. Any audition, any cast, any interview or any shoot, at least 15 minutes earlier must reach, whether you are needed or not. Just be there. And when you write in for a casting call, just wait. You send your stuff, just wait, because the more you run after it, sometimes the production you just push them away. So just wait. If they think you suit the role, you will get it, because they need to look at various things, the way you look, the way you talk, or the way you present yourself, whether it suits the character or not. Sometimes you take it very personally, that, oh my god, I got rejected, I never heard back. But it's okay, maybe that role didn't suit you, so you should not get disappointed. And audition tips, just do it from your heart, as in, don't get conscious. Sometimes you're very scared of forgetting lines. If there is a script, we are very nervous, like, oh my god, what if I don't say it properly? Like, if you feel it, you will be able to deliver it. So it needn't be like word to word what the script requires. But then again, there are different requirements by different audition calls. So basically, just follow the basic ethics, that you must reach on time and be very, very respectful wherever you are called for. Like, attitude really matters a lot. You really have to, stay grounded. I think that's a very, very key mantra to your success. Yeah.
I see different people sending different kinds of emails, but I think the basic format that I follow, if it's going to help anyone, so I'll just say hi to whoever was the person who posted the casting call, right? And then I say that I'm Kris and I'm interested in applying for this role. And then I attach 2 documents with that email. One is a list of my work experiences, and another one would be a document of web links which contain the videos that you wanna highlight, from that you think you wanna showcase yourself as a performer. So these are the 2 documents, and then obviously you end off with a warm, pleasant greeting, and that's it. So keep that email very, very short, very concise, to the point. And one more thing. After you've applied for the role, I know it can be a little nerve-wracking for some people that no one's getting back to you, no one's saying anything, you're not even hearing a whisper or a breath about it, especially if it's a role that you really wanted. Resist the temptation to keep poking at them. I've seen people do this on Facebook.
Yes,
You'll be pretty surprised to know that some actors who've been around for a while, they go on the public platform like Facebook and so on and say that I sent you this long ago, and then I want you to know that I'm suited for the role. I want you to know that this is how hard I worked. I've seen people do this, and I'm not getting any reply. You see, the thing is, when people, this is not just in casting calls, it's also in life, it's also in business, it's also in relationships, it's in a lot of things. When people really want you, they will come get you.
Yeah. You don't have to run after them.
That's the bottom line.
Yes.
And see, our job is not to force them to pick us. Our job is just to showcase what we can do.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we move on to finances. How do you guys juggle with the irregularity of it as freelancers?
So I'm not a full-time freelancer. I have my own business. So I'm into events, and I have a travel agency. So but it's difficult for me to balance between that work. I'm a mother of 2 kids, and then my passion. But I do feel slowly it's turning into a higher level of profession. Financially, yes, it's not great, especially when till the time you don't reach that level where you are given whatever you ask for, or you can ask for. So right now, it is a struggle. It's not easy, and if I was just a freelancer, it would have been really, really tough to manage the finances. But somehow I've seen till now, it's not been that bad. Like in the beginning, I had to do a lot of roles for free, especially in theatre. Yes, and theatre involves much more time, much more commitment, and stamina, everything.
Emotional stamina for theatre is
everything. So I've done a lot of theatre plays here, and 90% of them I've done for free. Wow. Yes, because I love it, and I love it so much that I am ready to do it for. But at the same time, I feel if there is some kind of give and take between the production house and the actors, it just gives you more more enthusiasm to be there. But then if you really love doing what you're doing, it's okay. But yes, now I feel it should not be free, but it is like that. It is the scenario here. Wow. So
well, finances wise, I don't have much. I don't have anything super concrete to say, because that is not one of my strong points. However, my acting career has been like a wave. So sometimes I get some very good projects, and then it pays me quite a bit. And then I know that I anticipate that the next couple of days may not be that good, so you're going down. So the money that I get here, I try to use it wisely to tide me through the time that I'm going down. And then when you rise again, but also something about finances, right? We got to start feeling good about money. Only then, money is going to come to us.
I knew you were going to say that because of what you put out to the universe. Right?
And
Your
it's
whole personality.
Hey, I'm a modern monk. But really, it was something that I read in a book many years ago. But I had no idea that I was going to be a professional actor at when I was reading the book. But I'm so thankful that when I finally became a professional actor, that piece of advice really served me. So when we start, so that's where the importance of not feeling insecure has to really come in. When you trust, like she said, that certain things are going to come to you, you don't feel so uptight about that financial thing anymore. But obviously, I mean, I've also been very blessed and very lucky that every time I feel like my finances are going down, something comes up to boost it. Something just comes up. And the thing is, when I came into acting, I didn't come in with a zero bank balance. So that's the thing. I had some money saved up from the previous jobs that I did, and when I first began acting wasn't the only thing that I was doing. I was most interested in doing acting, but I was also taking up writing jobs on the side. Yeah, because some people know me as a writer, so they gave me writing assignments like for very internal and private stuff to do with their company, and I was also helping in marketing with with another mobile technology company. So money, it comes in very inconsistent pockets. So, but thankfully, I've been able to anticipate, when the wave is going to be and when the crest is going to be. So every time there is a crest, I'm able to tide it through. I just be a lot more conscious of my spending, but I also trust with complete faith that there's a time to go down, there's a time to go up.
Yeah. But now with the COVID-19 situation, have you seen any personal impact or in the industry wise?
Definitely, absolutely. Not just this, every industry. I mean, right now again, I guess all the shoots are being held for the time being. So, yeah, definitely there is a big impact. Yeah.
Do you have any advice for budding freelancers on what they can do to cushion the
we are a group of actors from theatre. So we have one of the directors in the group. So since everybody's like literally working from home, and so we started an activity together. So we are working on small projects on our own, like creating videos to just boost each other up and be creatively involved and not just feel like, oh my god, what's happening, because you need to stay happy. I mean, if you're stressed and feeling low, things will become worse. So we're doing that. Like 2 days back we started this, and we've made like around 8 groups, small groups, and we're just working on we are doing something on comedy, so that we all enjoy doing it and we make others laugh. So I mean,
it's a video form?
Yes, it will be in a video form.
That's good.
And so I think at this time we can just use our time rather than just sitting and sulking. We could just improve on our skills, probably read some good books on acting, or look at some wonderful movies. You never know, like watching movies is a great way to learn. So just stay at home and watch some good movies.
Watch movies by great actors.
Yes.
And pick apart their nuances and expressions and all this. It's a wonderful opportunity to grow as an actor. Continue, sorry.
That's okay. I guess, that's it.
Okay, so I mean, so the COVID-19 situation, right? This is going to be a little bit weird. When the COVID-19 situation was getting worse and worse, I was also facing a lot of personal problems. So I had to spend all my time and energy dealing with that particular problem than to be thinking about how I should deal with the COVID problem. So that completely took all my attention and energy away, and it often makes me feel very fatigued and lethargic. But I've been trying to stay positive through it all. The COVID-19 situation, fortunately for me, I had done 2 other projects before, for which the payment hasn't come in yet. So
You can tell you.
so so during this COVID-19 time, even though I don't remember having that many bookings for the next few not next few days, it's on and off. Some are still a bit tentative, but I know that one of these few days that big chunk of money is gonna come in, so I think I'll be able to survive. You see, I told you, right? You gotta have faith.
Okay, so we move on now to that one last question we ask all of our guests. If you can give one advice to your younger self when you are first starting out in this freelancing career, what would that be?
Wow. I'm still quite young. That's the thing.
I know, yeah.
I gotta.
It's just,
I probably have to go back all the way to past life in order to give myself an advice. Okay, but you go first. I have to think.
to my younger self. What do I mean, it's a wish more than an advice, like if I would have started this way back. But then no, I can't think of an advice as a freelancer. No, I can't think of.
I think my what I would say to my younger self, because like I said, I only started freelance acting like in 2015, right? It's not directly connected to acting, but I feel that if I was as interested in helping people back then as I am now, I could have been happier, a little happier, because there's one thing that I really enjoyed doing, like somewhere in late 2018 and 2019. That is, because in 2.5-3 years, I saw a lot of people around me who were not getting enough jobs, like acting jobs, and they were happy to just be background extras and stuff like that, right? Not everyone is fighting for the same thing. So what I started doing was I felt that whenever I had free time, I would specifically pick out certain casting calls, and I would try to think like who this reminds me of. So I try to picture about 5 or 6 people whom I had met on set before, and I'll personally forward them specific casting calls and like draw arrows to which role I think they might be suitable for, things like that. So I wish I had done this from the very beginning. So I think that would have made me a little bit more fulfilled and more wholesome. Because in my acting journey, I don't see this as just me walking this road alone. It's whether you believe it or not, we are all walking in this together, right? It's the best way to cross the world's roads is to hold hands. So I wished I held more people's hands from maybe 2 years before I actually started doing it. So that is the piece of advice I would give my younger self.
Okay, now I know what I would have done that. I would say I would have advised myself to be more compassionate towards myself and give self-love, which I learned very late, and I think it does wonders, because we feel that we want to make everybody else happy, but if we are not happy, you can't make anybody happy. And we keep doing that it's not a mistake, but then we learn as we grow. And I learned it a couple of years back, and when I started working on that, I see such a huge difference. And I realized 2 years back that if I don't do this now, my daughters, I have 2 daughters, what am I going to teach them? I mean, I need to start loving myself so they love themselves. They need to learn that. If they don't learn it now, like I learned it very, very late. But yes, definitely, if I could learn self-love when I was way much younger, I don't know where I would have been now.
Yeah, that's a wonderful point. I think all actors, and not just all actors, I think all people should focus more on self-love.
True.
I think it's a lot to do with our conditioning. Because, I mean, in my background, there's sacrifice was a lot more celebrated and mentioned.
So we've been taught. We've been taught since we were kids that make XYZ happy. Make like your first is your parents, your brother, your sister, your husband, your children, your in-laws, your friends. So it's like such a huge list, which you get really exhausted by and at the end you feel, oh my God, I've done so much, still nobody is happy. But it's a very normal thing, because if you are not happy, nobody else will be happy with you.
Yeah,
So
and-
if you don't love yourself, nobody else will love you back, or feel loved.
So it's just
So-
becoming a generational cycle where everyone keeps telling you about why you should feel guilty because they
Yes.
did all those things for
Yes.
you. You know,
Yeah.
like if only I didn't have you, I could have accomplished this. If only I didn't have to spend all my time and money
Yes.
doing that for you, I could have been way off, way better. So I think instead of coming from a place of intense sacrifice, if we come from a place of giving, that would be better. I mean, I think we should do things for people because we love and we have so much goodness, and then it's overflowing, and then we are doing it rather than, I don't even have enough for myself, but I'm doing it for you. I think it's a very parental thing to do, to not have enough for yourself but to want to do for your kids. But the thing is, when the kids grow up, they end up feeling the same way. A lot of them, they feel guilty, and they feel like this so and so did all this for me, and therefore but so self-love is getting lost somewhere in there. So I think if people can all identify the importance of being happy first,
Yes,
and
that's
and
the
that-
only way.
yeah, there's nothing to feel guilty about wanting
Exactly.
to be happy,
Yeah.
because when you are happy is when you are able to maximize your potential
Exactly.
and do more. And when you do more, you're able to express yourself and your gift to the world better, and thereby inspiring other people to also rise to where their potential is.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much, and thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.